To help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live, brought to you by freekeen.com. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, May 3rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.54 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,317 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $39, and the average price of Bitcoin is $9,233. Antiwar.com reports the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, has issued an assessment Tuesday addressing Israeli allegations of a secret Iranian nuclear program. The UN watchdog says there's no credible indication of any Iranian activities after 2009. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made a presentation on Monday intended to give President Trump a justification for killing the P5+1 nuclear deal with Iran. Netanyahu's evidence, however, centered on research conducted before 2003 and which was well known. Netanyahu tried to present the old research and then conclude that more secret activities are ongoing. The IAEA, however, has a level of access within Iran unrivaled by any other safeguards agreement in the world. That access means claims of a whole additional secret program aren't particularly credible and has led European countries to warn killing the P5+1 deal would threaten that access. Iranian officials have also denied Israeli allegations of an ongoing program, saying Netanyahu can't stop crying wolf. That seems to be the general consensus across most of the world, though President Trump is still expected to withdraw the U.S. from the nuclear deal and will likely use Netanyahu's allegations as political cover for the international backlash.
Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at zencash.com. UPI reports two black men arrested at a Starbucks settled with the city of Philadelphia for $1 each and an undisclosed settlement with the company. The mayor's office on Wednesday said the city also agreed to a request by Rayshawn Nelson and Dante Robinson to set up a $200,000 program for young entrepreneurs in public high schools. In a separate settlement with Starbucks, they will receive a financial settlement as well as continued listening and dialogue between the parties, according to the company in a statement. The attorney for the men was not available for comment. City spokesman Mike Dunn said 2 weeks after the incident, the two men have released the city and its employees from any and all claims. Nelson and Robinson will not receive any money from the high school program, but will serve on a committee to establish and award the grants. Mayor Jim Kenney said in a statement, rather than spending time, money, and resources to engage in a potentially adversarial process, Rayshawn Nelson and Dante Robinson approached the city and invited us to partner with them in an attempt to make something positive come out of this. This agreement is the result of those conversations, and I look forward to seeing the fruits of their efforts in the coming months and years. The city said the money will come from its finance department budget. The city police commissioner apologized, and Starbucks CEO Kevin Johnson called the arrest reprehensible. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports Iowa's Republican-controlled legislature passed the most restrictive abortion ban in the United States on Wednesday, outlawing the procedure after a fetal heartbeat is detected, often at 6 weeks, and before a woman realizes she is even pregnant. The Senate voted 29-17 to pass the House of Representatives approved bill, according to the legislature's online voting tallies. The bill now goes to Republican Governor Kim Reynolds, an abortion opponent who had not said publicly whether or not she would sign the bill into law. Opponents of abortion aim to land the question back in front of the nation's top court, where they believe the 5-4 conservative majority could sharply curtail abortion access or ban it outright. Republican State Senator Rick Bertrand said, "We created an opportunity to take a run at Roe v. Wade 100%. Becca Lee, spokeswoman of Planned Parenthood of the Heartland, called the legislation an intentionally unconstitutional ban on 99% of safe legal abortions designed to challenge Roe v. Wade. The Iowa bill requires any woman seeking an abortion to undergo an abdominal ultrasound to screen for fetal heartbeat. If one is detected, healthcare providers are banned from performing the abortion." This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
A prison rights group protests the treatment of supervillains in the nation's magnetic detainment cubes. A local dad thought he could make it out of a zoo without buying his kids light-up shit, and a pigeon wishes just once it could complete a head movement smoothly. This is the Onion Week in Review. Millions of frustrated Americans across the country asked this week why the nation's struggling mental health system couldn't just get it together and stop feeling sorry for itself. Exasperated citizens told reporters that they had lost all patience with the ailing network's failure to perform basic tasks, such as routine mental health evaluations and emergency counseling.
Look, I get it. Everyone goes through a rough patch. Just look at the education system. I know times are tough, but things are never going to improve unless the system decides it wants to get better.
In other news, a new study finds that more men are opting to be in the room when their wife conceives their baby. An area man is unaware all of his friends think of him when they want to put things into perspective, and 3 dozen chemical and emotional responses are activated by the phrase pigs in a blanket.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. We'll give you the toll-free call-in line here momentarily, where you can call in and join us. The us in studio tonight is Daryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And we teased a story last night about some members of Congress that, well, they're complaining that they can't afford to stay in Washington, D.C. to do their congressional stuff.
Oh, they ought to all go home then.
Well, what they're doing is one better. They're staying in their offices, some of them.
I don't know if that's better, Daryl. I kind of like my politicians away from where they can wreak havoc with the country. Send them back home. They can meet their constituents, hear what's important to them.
And then they can't wind up passing horrible bills. I do like that.
I'm just saying.
But, you know, since being a member of Congress has become a full-time job, if they go back to their home,
not only that, they
can't work.
It's not just a full-time job. It's like a commune. Like, you got to actually move there.
Right.
You know
can't
what I
just
mean?
get
In a weird
temporary.
way, they really are like isolated from like everybody else, you know, which is weird because it's like you'd think they'd be more accountable for their actions if they live amongst the people
I didn't mean to laugh there, but I did. Yeah.
Who were affected by their bills instead of like.
I hear you.
Right. They're isolated of their own accord. So, like, nobody's forcing these people to be there. It's not like, you know, there was some squad that went around and just randomly selected 535 men and women and threw them into Washington, D.C. and said, you're doing this. These are people that spent tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars and months and months and months of their lives begging for this.
and now they're complaining. The story here comes from the New York Post, and it says these Congress members are sleeping on the job and defending their right to do so. Crying poverty amid decade-long stagnant salaries and Washington's steep cost of living, an increasing number of House lawmakers have turned into professional squatters at night, hitting the sack in their Capitol Hill offices on everything from cots and closets to futons stashed behind constituent couches to save a few bucks during the work week.
Oh, so I gotta say, I spent a lot of time in Maryland, and I lived, in a couple different places. I lived not in D.C., but just outside the metro area. It's a horrible housing market. I mean, it's ridiculously expensive. You basically have the Maryland suburbs, you've got D.C. itself, and you have Northern Virginia. Right. That's where these guys are going to be living, and the cost of living's through the roof. But do you know why?
Why?
Because it's filled with government employees. Because when the size of government grows beyond the means of the supporting area, then housing becomes a premium. And the costs go up.
Supply and demand. You've got a huge demand on we need places to stay and not that much of a supply on places to stay, so they can jack up the rates. But it should be pointed out that there are a bunch of people that live in Washington, D.C. that don't make $174,000 a year.
No, they live in Southeast.
Southeast what?
D.C. I'm
okay, it's still part of the District of Criminals. There are people that live in the District of Criminals that do not make $174,000 a year.
There are, but I'm telling you, Southeast, you can't really compare it to Georgetown or DuPont Circle or Bethesda or any of the nicer places in Northern Virginia. I mean, it's poverty-stricken, desolate. Just it's horrendous. It's some of the scariest neighborhoods you could ever step foot in, and probably land-wise, it's equal to the nice parts of the District of Columbia. But again, you've got Congress.
The congressman would fit right in with the criminals.
Yeah.
Continuing on here, Representative Dan Donovan from Staten Island says, Washington is just too expensive. He credits the cot that he sleeps on in a tiny alcove in his office as the reason he's able to serve in Congress while still paying his New York City housing cost. He adds, if we get to the point where you have to rent or have to buy in D.C., then only millionaires would be members of Congress. I don't think that was the intent of the Founding Fathers. Now, luckily, there's this wonderful website called Open Secrets. And unfortunately, they're a couple years behind on their estimated net worth of members of Congress.
I can see where this is going.
Dan Donovan has an estimated net worth from 2016, so 2 years ago, of $1,050,503, with $925,000 of his net worth being in real estate. So we have a real estate guy who's saying, you've got to be a millionaire to serve in Congress, and that's not what the founders meant, and this guy is a millionaire.
By those numbers, he's not very liquid, though.
Might not be very liquid, but he still, by definition, is a millionaire, and saying only millionaires can be in Congress.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's not really news to me. I think one of the quickest ways to great wealth is to be a U.S. senator. Because those guys all go there, modest. A lot of them do. A lot of them don't. A lot of them have money already, but they don't leave modest. And for the life of me, I mean, these are people that do the same job as a representative, basically.
Right.
Yet they all seem to end up being multimillionaires when they go home.
To play like devil's advocate here, like if there's any job that is probably like one of the crappiest jobs to have, it probably is being a congressman or a senator or a politician, because you've got, no matter what you do about anything, you're never going to please everyone. And there's always going to be critics. There's always going to be people like, no matter what way you vote on any bill, you're going to get some angry mob of people saying you did the wrong thing. So it's kind of like one of those things like,
right, but again, we're talking about people that have begged to be in this position that are now complaining that they're in this position.
I think that a lot of people that run for, like, as someone who ran for office before. Like, I wasn't begging to be in the position. I was saying, hey, I have ideas. Like, if you want to give me a go, like, let's see if I can make the world a better place.
Did you campaign?
Yeah.
Did you campaign hard?
Absolutely.
Then I don't think that Daryl's analogy of begging to get in there. You tried very hard to get there.
You ran, you put your ideas in an arena of ideas, and you hope that they come out and, prevail and do good. And
right, and if it's a financial hardship, you don't run for re-election, unlike this Dan Donovan, who is serving on at least his second, if not third or fourth term.
The other thought I would throw out is if that's the case, if you just went there to do your good ideas and, gosh, it's a really tough job, but I want to do the right thing, and I know I'm never going to please all the people all the time, then why are they accepting so much money from special interest groups?
I mean, just because they accept money from, like, if they, the way I look at it is if I ran, as long as I believe in myself and I know I'm not a bad person, it doesn't matter to me who I accept money from, because I know at the end of the day, I'm not going to two-time people. I'm not going to do anything that I think is going to cause, like, negative consequences to the people in my community, like, that I'm going to put, like, my whole heart into it. And so I don't care if somebody sitting at home on a couch says, wait a minute, Heather, you accepted a donation from this person. Well, that means that you're just some, blah, 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 because it doesn't matter, because all that person is doing is sitting there criticizing me while I'm doing what I think is going to make the world a better place. And as long as I believe in myself, who cares? Because in that position, you can't please everyone. So if you go around catering to the emotions of every unsatisfied person, you're never going to get anything done, because you're going to be constantly focused on, oh my God, I'm going to offend this person, or I'm going to offend this person. Oh, but this person thinks this and this person thinks this.
Let's go to the phones. We've got Joel calling in from Western New York. 855-450-FREE is the toll-free number. Joel, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hello, Joel.
Your brother from behind the Iron Curtain here in New York, and I just want to throw a quick comment that if you look at all the places our government is spending our money, as an ex-lobbyist, I cannot believe that I am risking contracting bed bugs from going and visiting people who don't want to listen to libertarians.
Hold that thought, Joel. Sounds like you've got more. 855-450-FREE. That's how you can call in. Join us. 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
What is it costing you in vet bills for that convenience of just pulling open a bag of
formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways?
How do you feed your dog to derive not only energy, but a good coat, bright eyes, and a great attitude?
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
I found his raw meat diet on Dynovite.com with just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dynovite and the Super Omega on top of it.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
Ground beef, white rice, eggs, including the shells, and the Dynovite supplement, and then the Lico Chops.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
It just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit.
Adding Dynovite to their diet has every single dog in my kennel looking better than they have ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore.
DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.fm in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.fm. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We've been talking about the poor congressmen that can't afford to pay rent in Washington, D.C., and they don't even really want to be there. They were just like forced to be there. We'll get back into that story. But first, Chris, you know what's coming up in about a week and a half, don't you?
Let me see. That'd be about the middle of May. The middle of May.
Mother's Day.
Oh, that's the one.
A lot of times it sneaks up on you, and then you hit the panic button. You get suckered into one of those online flower giants pitching $19.99 flowers that end up costing you $60. Or you go to the grocery store and you grab some produce department flowers that smell like green onions. That tells Mom that you don't really care enough to send flowers from the Bouqs. That's short for bouquets, and they're bouquing awesome. Bouqs flowers are as unique and special as your mom. They're freshly cut from Bouqs farms and delivered straight to your mom, so they last weeks, not days. Bouqs even has farms located on the side of a volcano that produce flowers so gorgeous Mom will post pics of them and brag about you. And because Bouqs cuts out the middlemen, you get amazingly fresh flowers at an amazing price. Show Mom how much you care. Send her artisan design flowers from the Bouqs. Order today and get an extra 15% off when you enter code FTL. That's Bouqs, BOUQS.com. And remember, code FTL saves an extra 15%. Bouqs.com, BOUQS.com. So we'll get to the phones in just a second. We did have a caller from New York that had dropped off. He was basically asking the question, and I don't know if he was serious or not, about why would politicians listen to libertarians instead of lobbyists or something. But the reason we're talking about politicians is a story from the New York Post about some congressmen that are complaining, saying, I can't afford to stay in D.C., so I'm forced to sleep inside my office. But not everybody is happy about it, and some of the members of Congress are preparing to propose legislation that would prohibit the activity of turning an office into a makeshift sleeping quarters, arguing that the move violates IRS and congressional ethics rules.
Congress has ethics rules?
They have them, but unlike the mafia, they don't actually abide by them.
Just checking. I'm sure some of them do every once in a while. when it's convenient.
Well, one or two occasionally, but the collective 535 members do not.
I don't know, the majority of them don't get along, so I'm sure there is a battle of like good and evil going on in D.C.
Representative Benny Thomas of Mississippi says, look, it's unhealthy, it's nasty. I wouldn't want to be entertained in somebody's bedroom.
That is a sentence that no congressman has ever said.
He continues, sleeping in your office is not proper ethically either. Quote, you get free cable, free electricity, free janitorial, free security, no rent. It's a heck of a deal. It probably comes out to $25,000 or $30,000 a year that is not claimed at tax time. So it seems though Representative Thompson is only worried about, how much of other people's money he can wind up thieving. Let's go to the phones where we've actually to the Skype where we've got Bad Slave calling in. Bad Slave, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hi, Daryl. I keep having to say, and this is just so silly to even bring it up. I know the U.S. Constitution limits the federal government to some small single-digit fraction of the activities that it's allowed to do.
Sure.
And everything beyond that is extra constitutional and interferes with people and puts, hundreds of thousands of people in prison, kills others. There's just so much activity of the federal government. The federal government is basically designed not even to interact with persons so much as the states. And so basically we've got, a bunch of idiots down there ignoring the Constitution, spending trillions of dollars and basically continuing harm across the globe and in America. And we're supposed to, get excited about them, not being able to do that well enough. I'm sorry. They need to just go home, spend the next whatever time it takes to basically they could do a big repeal of all federal law, just strip the books and get it down to the Constitution again and let the states handle everything and correct for the finishing up of the entitlements for Social Security and whatever else that that people paid into for.
Yeah.
And then you'll spend some number of weeks or whatever doing the actual true federal business that was assigned to them.
One guy, Representative Dan Donovan, says, talking about, well, if we've got to wind up buying or renting, then only millionaires could be in Congress, and that's not what the founders intended. Well, the founders didn't intend for you to be there all year.
Right.
Bad Slave, thank you for the call.
Yeah, and I just wanted to ask Bad Slave, so are you willing to risk a constitutional convention to change that?
To change them abiding by the Constitution?
Well, at this point, I think that we have gone so far off the rails from the Constitution that I think you would literally need to rewrite it more specifically. You're never going to roll it back.
Right.
Right?
Unfortunately.
That's not going to happen. So you can try to incremental your way back over the next 10,000 years, or you can just say wipe the whole slate clean and start over.
It's not just politics and stuff that have changed over so many years. It's like societal norms, too. There's some weird stuff being debated in D.C. Some of the issues, have just, I don't know. There's
no beard.
Even like family units, where like just the idea of family units has changed dramatically from way back when it was like men were working, women were at home with the kids. Like now,
gender
like
equality.
The workforce is like largely women now, and you have women staying home less with their kids, and like parents are working longer days and spending less time with their kids, and their kids are in schools, and God knows what's being shoved down there.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident in saying that our founding fathers never debated what genders would use what bathrooms.
Yeah. It's
probably.
not even just that. I mean, there's so much weirder stuff. Like people are just
your
crazy
calls
these days.
and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Bacon lovers, we ship free. Try our amazing bacon. No refrigeration required. Proprietary value-added packaging provides 10-year shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Savory and delicious. Wholesale price for your everyday use. Order today at readytoeatbacon.com. readytoeatbacon.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. That's how you can call in to interact, but maybe you just want to interact using text and you want to go into a bunch of chat rooms. Well, you can do that through this weird Discord thing
It's not a weird Discord thing.
No, it's a weird thing that's called Discord.
Nothing weird about it.
And it's a thing.
It's a thing.
Discord.lrn.fm. There are various different chat group or chat rooms. There might be chat groups inside the room. I don't really know. Discord.lrn.fm is how you can find that. And then you can actually call in if you've got a microphone connected to your computer. You can call in using the on-air call-in line, discord.lrn.fm. So we've been talking about some of these congressmen that are staying in their offices in D.C. because, well, they don't know how to wind up saving money in order to actually pay for lodging when they're in D.C. doing, quote-unquote, the people's work. And again, they make $174,000 per year. The article says there's no housing allowance, but working in a city where sparse one-bedroom pads can currently run $2,000 a month might get a little expensive. Well, members of the House and Senate leadership wind up getting an extra $20,000 a year, so they're doing a little bit better.
So basically, you're talking, I mean, at the high end, out of a $174,000 salary, you're talking about $24,000 a year.
Right.
If you're talking about a $2,000 per month rental.
Correct.
I just don't see the hardship there other than saying you could probably learn to manage your money a little bit better.
Right, now, but we're talking about a group of men and women that have collectively gotten us $21 trillion in debt, asking them to manage their money.
I was being a little facetious there, Daryl, and yes, exactly. I mean, this is just insane. I don't feel bad for you, and I'll say it again. The reason your rents are so high is because you made government too big. So it's your own fault.
While there's no official tally of the number of house hobos, and that's the term used in the New York Post, who turn their offices into makeshift bedrooms, interviews with members and several Post stakeouts of the congressional gym, where the live-in lawmakers often shower, puts the estimate at around 100 representatives, or more than 1/5 of the governing body. Publicly, about 50 congressmen have confessed to doing so, and that includes House Speaker Paul Ryan, Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, New York Reps Dan Donovan, Gregory Meeks from Queens and Long Island, Lee Zedlin, also from Long Island, John Katko from Syracuse, and Brian Higgins of Buffalo.
So I've worked jobs where, I worked in technology, so sometime you had an upgrade going on or switching systems over or whatever was going on, and, it was just easier to sleep at your desk or bring in a sleeping bag for the weekend. It just happened. But I never thought that I would just live there, even when, like the last place I worked at had really nice showers and locker room and stuff like that. But who would want to do that?
That's like turning in like their office. I don't know. It kind of makes me think like the Capitol will turn into like a castle. And you got all like the...
I immediately thought of George Costanza and all this.
Yeah, they mention a couple of representatives who say, well, it's just the Army and me to work all day and then sleep on a cot. They continue, a House member's office usually has a reception area, a cramped section of workspace for staff, and a separate office for the politician with a seating area and desk. There's no kitchen or shower. What makes overnights in the office possible is Congress members' only gym in the basement of the Rayburn House office building, With an annual fee of roughly $300, members have access to showers, laundry, and lockers. Typical morning routine for the sleepovers is to tuck away their makeshift bed and head to the gym for a workout, then a shower. Usually get suited up before their staffers arrive back at the office around 8 or 9. Higgins says, nobody's going to see me like this. And that was said one morning in the gym while sporting earbuds, a long-sleeve T-shirt, and some workout pants. The lawmakers said he used to split the rent for a basement apartment, paying $1,200 a month, but resorted to sleeping on a couch in his office when college bills for his 2 kids began piling up. He says, I don't really view this as free housing. And to be honest, it's really convenient to the lifestyle. There's a gym here. There's even a shower and towel service. There's laundry service for my gym clothes.
Oh, God.
Representative Austin Scott of Georgia emerged from the congressional gym in sweaty scrubs after a workout and bemoaned efforts by his colleagues to ban office sleeping for budget-challenged lawmakers such as himself. He says, I think it's ridiculous. I can't afford an apartment.
Oh, God.
Adriano Esplalot from New York said couch crashing isn't for him, even though he, too, faces a high cost of living back in New York City. He says, my couch is too hard. I'd wake up with a stiff neck every morning. Instead, he found an option, an apartment with rent well south of $1,800 in Virginia. He says, I'm probably one of the poorer members of Congress. Jerry Nadler of Manhattan also doesn't sleep in his office, but said he can sympathize with those who do, and worries that Congress won't represent America if only the wealthy can afford to serve. He supports a cost of living hike for Congress, which hasn't been raised since 2009. And then they go through, and there's just various quotes from various other lawmakers talking about how they sympathize with people that are forced to sleep on cots and couches.
And again, one of the proposed solutions, the proposed solution is to give them more money or to do some sort of stipend, which means give them more money, or give them a housing allowance, which means give them more money.
Or a better idea
there'll be like a White House, but it'll be only for congressmen, so they'll all have bunk beds.
No, a better idea is to wind up just saying, all right, instead of being in session for 11 months, you're in session for 1, and then you're on vacation the other 11 months.
Not vacation, just go home. Just go back to the people that you're supposed to be representing.
We have a mission to Mars coming soon, and you're telling me they can't video conference in from their homes.
Right.
Like, come on now. Like,
oh, they could. They're just not allowed because House rules specify that they have to vote in person.
The thing is, the only thing they're really going to be missing out on is lobbyists. So if they're not there in D.C., lobbyists are not going to trek all over the country to try to round up people to bribe. It would be so inefficient. So you're going to have, a few that are going to get bribed really, really well, but the vast majority of them, just their votes won't be as easy to purchase.
Right, but still, if they were only in session for a month,
I hear you,
and you've got all of your committee hearings in that month, and then the next month is when you actually do all your votes and you vote remotely from home.
Yeah, won't happen.
I know it won't happen.
You're not
I'm
thinking
just
of
offering solutions.
I know you are, Daryl, but how are the lobbyists going to work with this proposed system? I just don't think
they're all in the District of Criminals for 1 month for committee hearings.
They're going to be insanely busy, Daryl. They're not going to have time to be wine, dine, taken off out to play golf. They're not going to be able to take plane trips in one condensed month. It's just not realistic. So please, Daryl, think of the lobbyists. Will you please?
As one, I can say that I don't want to do any of those things. That and I don't want to deal with the thieves in the Washington, D.C.
Right.
But even the ones in Concord, New Hampshire, I don't take out for meals. I don't go play golf with. There's one that lives
maybe
in
if you
Keene
did, Liberty could win.
On long runs, I'd run by his house. But that's not intentional. I just saw him in the yard one day and was like, oh, that's where the state rep lives. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. What are your thoughts on these poor members of Congress that only make $174,000 a year and can't afford apartments? This is Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggo Suds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggo Sud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggo Suds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com.
I tried other brands, but I came back to my Sunshine.
For the best hot or cold pain relief, get the best. Get a Sunny Bay heating pad.
Sometimes life can be a pain in the neck or back or shoulder.
And the best relief for that pain is a Sunny Bay heating pad. Did you know that the American College of Physicians said that one of the best ways to treat muscle pain is heat therapy? Sunny Bay heating pads are handmade with high quality, can be used at home or at work, and have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy.
Why take another pill?
Many people use our Sunny Bay heating pads alone and got rid of the neck pain.
Long distance travel or long hours in front of a computer can take its toll on your body.
See why our homegrown small business at sunny-bay.com has tried to help people just like you. Get your Sunny Bay heating pads at sunny-bay.com. That's sunny-bay.com or call 253-678-1361 for hot and cold therapy. sunny-bay.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it! You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio tonight, it's Daryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And we'll get back to the phones here in just a second. But first, I want to tell you about a website that you should go to if you want to find out news about various things in the crypto sphere, talking about Bitcoin.com. Well, specifically, news.bitcoin.com is where you can go to find the news portion there. One of the headlines from earlier today, and this might not come as a surprise to some of you. 46% of ICOs that have been launched so far this year are nothing more than an idea.
That's a shock.
I'm surprised it's only 46%, considering that, what was it, 90% of the ones launched prior to January wound up
2017.
Never actually doing anything. Again, that story and many others about all things cryptocurrency and a lot of Bitcoin-heavy stuff. News.bitcoin.com. Let's go to Skype, where we've got Mustafa calling in from Sierra Leone. Mustafa, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes. Hello, listeners. Hello, viewers. I think once more I'm back after a long time. I've been, participating in Free Live Talk. So I say love to everyone in the United States.
Yeah, try getting a little bit closer to the microphone. It sounds like there's a lot of background noise. I'm not sure if it's windy or if it's just a bad connection.
No, not bad connection. Okay. 1 minute.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, he'll work on a better connection there.
Yeah, that's why I tested during the break, and it sounded pretty good then, and then I don't know what changed.
Yes. Hello, you getting me now?
Yes, much better. Go ahead.
Okay, good. Marvelous. So I just once more to everybody in the United States, and my name is Mustafa. I think I've been calling for some time, but I lost for some time in Free Live Talk. So I have one or two things, to make up, because I believe within this time I will be coming down to New Hampshire.
Excellent.
In the festival. So
which festival?
And the Protofest event.
Porkfest, nice.
Excellent. That's happening in late June in the White Mountains of New Hampshire.
Yeah, in New Hampshire, yes, late June. So it's supposed to be on the 19th and the 24th.
Yes.
So yes. So I think I have a lot of listeners. I have lots of friends now presently in New Hampshire. And I think I have to go through the embassy, United States of America embassy in Sierra Leone on the 30th of this month, so I can go for the interview so that I can get my visa to come down there, and I have to speak. So I have few of my businesses as well, Africa Backpacks, that I'm coming down with, and also I'm trying to set up my own remittance, which is Bitcoin, where people can send some cryptocurrency, and we can change it as well in our local currency, which is Leons. So
nice.
And yes, so that is what I'm working on, because that is the reason why I'm so scarce in the Free Live Talk. So today I'm here, and yes, but my biggest challenges, and I believe I have so many guys and friends over there. And one of the organizer, Jessica, she has helped me a lot for me to, she helped me a lot so that she can send me the invitation letter, as well as, I've already settled my reservation, my stay for 2 weeks. So I'll be leaving back in July 5th. That's what I will be leaving. So if I come there on the 18th, I will be leaving back July 5th. So I just want to go down there to pitch my business and tell people about what I'm doing, and also to see how I can create, a platform where Sierra Leoneans in the United States can come back and see how they can do business with my platform, which is BitLeons. So that is what I'm trying to do for now. And at the same time, I'm calling friends and loved ones as well for them to help me out, because I've already put up my crowdfunding, but it's a bit slow. So, I'm talking to guys over there so that they can help me out to give my round tickets, which is $1,320 for my round flight ticket. So that is my biggest challenges now for me to get my flight ticket.
And you said that you are accepting cryptocurrency. Is there an easy website that people could go to send you some crypto?
Yes, for now I'm only using from now I set up my crowdfunding with some crypto. I set up my crowdfunding with a crypto wallet. Address. So if someone can just see, you can just go and you can just drop some amount of Bitcoins into it, because that one also will be a testimony for me to tell the people of Sierra Leone that this is the funding that I raise for me to come down in the United States, because I've been doing that during the outbreak, because when the Ebola was terrorizing us, we used Bitcoins and other crypto to raise some money, and also this mudslide, so like, that's what. So we want to see how people can be using the Bitcoin, and so Bitcoin can be popular all over in Sierra Leone, and business can be easy, because people are getting so much constraint, like, for the banking system, and, so like we want to see how we can help one way or the other. So that's why I'm trying my, my campaign to people over there, for them to see my campaign going through my Facebook, that you can get my voice, my video, that I need some amount of money, but the flight fee, the round fee will be like $1,320 US. So
I'll tell you what, Mustafa, if you send me the link, you use the Skype chat, send the link. I'll make sure that gets posted on the Facebook and the Twitter for Free Talk Live, and that way anybody that wants to help you out to make sure that you are able to afford to come to the Porcupine Freedom Festival, they can donate to you.
Nice.
Yes, that's what I will do. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling.
Anything else, Mustafa?
Yeah, well, I actually, I have to say lots when I come down there, because, you guys, I miss you guys. At the same time, I would just say peace and love to all of my guys helping me. Like, I have some various guys, that usually help me. So I said peace and love to all of them, and all those who are listening to me, I said peace and love. And then for them to see how they can turn their way, for them to see how they can make Sierra Leone a better place, because, we have a new president now, and he's trying to talk about new directions. So we are all trying to see how we can work with the new directions by helping, throwing some lights with the president, because he's here presently to do some marvelous stuff. Like, he has been raising some amount of good costs for the people of Sierra Leone presently, and it threw more emphasis on education. So we want to see how we can help one way or the other, and see how we can talk to our brothers and sisters in the United States for them to come back to Sierra Leone, to make Sierra Leone be a better place. That is all I'm trying to say.
Excellent. Mustafa, thanks for the call. And again, send me that link. I'll get it posted on the Facebook and the Twitter. And I look forward to hopefully getting to meet you at the end of June. I personally will, at this moment, I don't plan to be at the Porcupine Freedom Festival, but he did say he'd be here for about 2 weeks.
Right.
So hopefully during that 2 weks, I'll get a chance to wind up meeting him.
Likewise.
Mm-hmm.
Be cool.
Yeah. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Coming up, Chris, you're going to tell us about something that, was it the city of Seattle did to Amazon, state of Washington, some kind of something.
They're always doing
with
something.
Amazon, and
Amazon's taking over.
Well, not necessarily. There was some kind of something of a planned expansion.
Oh, we'll get to that part.
Not something, and then in a somewhat related, government screws over businesses. There's a story out of Maryland where a town, in an effort to encourage businesses to move to town, wound up raising taxes on businesses.
Probably not that much, though.
Well, as the clickbait title would be, the amount will surprise you.
Good one.
And I'm
Good
clickbait.
That
Good as
job.
a tease.
Nice tease.
So those stories, somewhat related, even though one's in Washington State, Seattle specifically, and the other in Maryland. We'll get to those. Plus, Heather, you've got a story that we might get to about something that California has done to some tech company somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
All of that.
Lots
and
of good stuff.
More. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. So, Chris, do you have that story pulled up from Amazon? If not, I can pull it up.
Yeah. Did you ever hear what happened with that bid?
Oh, no.
Governor Sununu bidding on the Amazon H2Q? Remember, they were going to open up a second headquarters, and Governor Sununu and Mayor Walsh were in a bidding war.
Well, there were a bunch of bids on that, and I Don't know whatever happened with that. Maybe
I'll have
this
to look
story
that
that
up.
Chris has something to do
Yeah,
with that.
they might talk
second
about it. I
headquarters.
do have
Do
it
they?
up now, Daryl. So.
Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450 free. That's 855-450-3733.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, May 3rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.54 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,317 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $39, and the average price of Bitcoin is $9,233. Antiwar.com reports the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, has issued an assessment Tuesday addressing Israeli allegations of a secret Iranian nuclear program. The UN watchdog says there's no credible indication of any Iranian activities after 2009. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made a presentation on Monday intended to give President Trump a justification for killing the P5+1 nuclear deal with Iran. Netanyahu's evidence, however, centered on research conducted before 2003 and which was well known. Netanyahu tried to present the old research and then conclude that more secret activities are ongoing. The IAEA, however, has a level of access within Iran unrivaled by any other safeguards agreement in the world. That access means claims of a whole additional secret program aren't particularly credible and has led European countries to warn killing the P5+1 deal would threaten that access. Iranian officials have also denied Israeli allegations of an ongoing program, saying Netanyahu can't stop crying wolf. That seems to be the general consensus across most of the world, though President Trump is still expected to withdraw the U.S. from the nuclear deal and will likely use Netanyahu's allegations as political cover for the international backlash.
Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at zencash.com.
UPI reports 2 black men arrested at a Starbucks settled with the city of Philadelphia for $1 each and an undisclosed settlement with the company. The mayor's office on Wednesday said the city also agreed to a request by Rayshawn Nelson and Dante Robinson to set up a $200,000 program for young entrepreneurs in public high schools. In a separate settlement with Starbucks, they will receive a financial settlement as well as continued listening and dialogue between the parties, according to the company in a statement. The attorney for the men was not available for comment. City spokesman Mike Dunn said 2 weeks after the incident, the 2 men have released the city and its employees from any and all claims. Nelson and Robinson will not receive any money from the high school program, but will serve on a committee to establish and award the grants. Mayor Jim Kenney said in a statement, rather than spending time, money, and resources to engage in a potentially adversarial process, Rayshawn Nelson and Dante Robinson approached the city and invited us to partner with them in an attempt to make something positive come out of this. This agreement is the result of those conversations, and I look forward to seeing the fruits of their efforts in the coming months and years. The city said the money will come from its finance department budget. The city police commissioner apologized, and Starbucks CEO Kevin Johnson called the arrest reprehensible.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports Iowa's Republican-controlled legislature passed the most restrictive abortion ban in the United States on Wednesday, outlawing the procedure after a fetal heartbeat is detected, often at 6 weeks, and before a woman realizes she is even pregnant. The Senate voted 29-17 to pass the House of Representatives approved bill, according to the legislature's online voting tallies. The bill now goes to Republican Governor Kim Reynolds, an abortion opponent who had not said publicly whether or not she would sign the bill into law. Opponents of abortion aim to land the question back in front of the nation's top court, where they believe the 5-4 conservative majority could sharply curtail abortion access or ban it outright. Republican State Senator Rick Bertrand said, "We created an opportunity to take a run at Roe v. Wade 100%. Becca Lee, spokeswoman of Planned Parenthood of the Heartland, called the legislation an intentionally unconstitutional ban on 99% of safe legal abortions designed to challenge Roe v. Wade. The Iowa bill requires any woman seeking an abortion to undergo an abdominal ultrasound to screen for fetal heartbeat. If one is detected, healthcare providers are banned from performing the abortion." This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
This is the Onion Week in Review, pushed to the breaking point after constantly being taken to task without ever hearing a word of thanks for what it does around here. An overwhelmed and infuriated nation announced Wednesday that it was trying, okay? Jesus Christ. A poll of the American populace revealed that 33% felt they were doing pretty damn well, all things considered, while another 28% just wanted 2 measly minutes without somebody breathing down their damn neck. A group of female friends spent a raucous night on the town Thursday, validating the living shit out of each other.
You're the most talented person I know.
Eyewitness reports say the women absolutely went to town on a session of non-judgmental reassurances.
Last night was crazy. I don't even remember half the uplifting things I said to Karen. We've always been the kind of group that listens hard and consoles even harder.
And in other news, a group of semester at sea students steal an anchor for their dorm room. A 5-year-old wants to be an overworked Haitian nanny when he grows up, and every group of friends at a karaoke bar ruins every other group's night.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's the toll-free call-in number where you can call in to join us and bring up whatever is on your mind. The us in studio tonight is Daryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And we'll actually go to the Discord call-in line here now, where we've got Gene, the Christian anarchist, calling in. Gene, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Gene?
Hello, Gene?
He said I might need to wake him up.
You say Christian anarchist?
Gene, the Christian anarchist.
Oh.
And
can you hear me, guys?
Yes,
now we
can
Oh,
finally
there he
hear you.
is.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Did we wake you up?
Go
Gene,
ahead.
go ahead.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
I guess he cannot hear us, so
We should
I'm
hold
going
him.
to mute him. And Chris, let's jump into that story you've got about Amazon and the city of Seattle.
Yeah, well, this
where
comes.
the city ain't happy.
The city isn't happy, which makes, conversely, Amazon not happy. Amazon.
And as they say, if Amazon ain't happy, nobody's happy.
Exactly.
Or something along those lines.
Again, from TechCrunch, Amazon halts Seattle expansion over city tax proposal. I know it may come to a shock to many of you out there to think that the city of Seattle would cause problems with their taxation, but here it is. Even
Right, this city of Seattle, the place that is doing some kind of testing on that Fight for 15 thing and then wound up realizing that came to bite them in the butt.
At least they legalized weed.
They did do that.
That was not the city of Seattle. That was the state of Washington.
Right.
Well, people in Seattle voted.
They get to do that. That's what you get. In the meantime, you get to watch your economy fall apart.
Yes.
Even as Amazon continues to grow at a staggering rate, it's pumping the brakes on a long-planned hometown expansion. The retail giant threw down the gauntlet this week when it announced that it would stop construction on a new building because of a proposed city tax. The new law is designed to address Seattle's housing crunch by charging large companies $500 a head. It doesn't give context of how often that is, but it's basically a head tax per employee.
My guess is it's probably a yearly tax.
Could be. The proposal
That's
is
a lot
pretty.
of money.
Yeah, it is. The proposal is pretty clearly aimed at Amazon's own expansion, and the company is taking the move to heart, potentially abandoning construction on a new building and just moving into pre-existing space instead. A spokesperson for the company told the New York Times that it's, quote, evaluating options, unquote, and has paused all construction planning pending the results of the vote. The move apparently caught Seattle City Council off guard ahead of the May 14th vote. Quote, I'm deeply concerned about the impact this decision will have on a large range of jobs, from our building trades to restaurant workers to nurses, manufacturing jobs, and tech workers, the city's mayor, Jenny Durkin, told the paper. Quote, at the same time, our city must urgently address our homelessness and affordability crisis and lift up those who have been left behind, unquote.
So, pulling up some info on this proposed head tax, it would, according to Como News, only apply to companies with $20 million or more in annual taxable gross receipts as measured by the city's Business and Occupation Tax Office. The city estimates it would be about 500 businesses that would wind up being covered here. Those businesses would be charged 26 cents per hour per employee, up to a maximum of $500 per employee per year.
There we go.
That's crazy.
And Amazon would pay more than $20 million under the proposal.
Yeah, and I suspect a lot of other large companies that you think of, everybody thinks of, Microsoft in Seattle. Most of Microsoft's offices are in Redmond.
Right.
And in other surrounding areas, so Microsoft may not be hit by this. But again, it's this.
Ooh, isn't the coffee place headquartered in Seattle?
Starbucks? I don't know. I know they started there. I don't know if they're headquartered there.
I just think, I don't know, if there's going to be any taxes whatsoever, it should be fair for everyone.
Yeah.
It shouldn't just be like a tax on the poor, and it shouldn't be a tax on like just the rich either. It should just be like if there's going to be any type of contribution, everyone can pay a certain percentage.
Well, I thought you said tax the poor,
No,
which I would agree
like
with.
some fees and stuff tax the poor. You know what I mean? Like certain things.
They burden the poor.
Yeah, they burden. Well, it's basically a burden on the poor is a tax on the poor, and whereas this is like the opposite end of the spectrum, where it's like a burden or a tax on the rich. And so it's like, in my opinion, if you're gonna have any taxes whatsoever, Like, why not have it just be a percentage that everybody that works, no matter what it is you do, like you all pay the same percentage and chip in the same amount.
Zero's a good percentage.
We could call it a fair tax.
But I'm not an anarchist, so, I don't mind living in a community where everyone chips in a little to help out. So.
Well, in this case, they're being asked to chip in to solve a problem that they arguably probably didn't create, the homeless. So how did Amazon create homeless people?
Amazon's actually done the opposite because Amazon is hiring people, and when people have jobs, then that means they make money, which means that they can pay rent.
Right. And then we have the affordability crisis, and that's like, it's the same story we were talking about in D.C. where rents are through the roof. I will wager, and somebody can double check me on that Seattle has a fairly rigid rent control process. I'm going to Google that one real quickly because that's typically where we see the highest rents when government steps in to try to fix the problem.
Right. That's one of the reasons that rents are so high in New York City, specifically in Manhattan, because of these things called rent control that are supposed to make sure that rent doesn't go up, but somehow does the complete opposite.
Yeah, apparently the state has a rent control ban and it won't be lifted this year. So this sounds like it's just strictly the result of supply and demand. But taxing, what are they trying to say? Are they trying to say that by these large businesses put a strain on infrastructure and we want to come up with a way to tax them to pay for that? Well, they don't even bring that up.
Hold on. I think I can figure it out. Because these businesses, these large businesses, own so much of the land and the property, we can't build more housing. And so that is contributing to the housing crisis because they're building things that aren't houses.
That's interesting. Why not? I see no rhyme or reason to this other than you're going to drive out jobs.
If you've got a headquarters or a big manufacturing plant, that's not a house. That's not an apartment. So where are we supposed to build the apartments? We can't build the apartments inside your manufacturing plant, Chris.
Yeah, well, they're still going to build them regardless. I mean, if they get this head tax or whatever. So I don't think that's the issue.
Yeah,
no, the claim is that the land is being used for things other than housing, and that's causing the housing problem.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at various maps.
Maybe it was that failed $15 wage hike.
That certainly didn't help, and that's probably contributing more to the homeless than anything else.
Well, yeah, because it's when I was actually in Concord earlier today, like there was this guy, same guy I see all the time, standing at this light with his sign, and like some woman got out of the car, gave him some money, and I was thinking because like I've heard so many people make the argument like if you give them money, they'll keep coming back, which this guy's there all the time and he's always getting money from people. So he's got to make a decent amount of money sitting there by this traffic light. And it got me thinking like there are homeless shelters in Concord where you can stay at and then use as a residence, get a job. Like, is there really... Because I always used to have like the sympathy for the homeless, but at the same time, if there's a will, there's a way, right? Like
maybe he makes more money doing that than he would if he would get a minimum wage job.
That's where it's
your calls and thoughts. Welcome 855-450 free. That's 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
This November, I'll be running the world's biggest and most popular marathon, the New York City Marathon, as a member of Team Innocence Project. The Innocence Project was the first legal organization to systematically apply DNA testing to cases of wrongful convictions as a powerful tool to reveal innocence. Tony Wright is a perfect example of the power of DNA. The Innocence Project litigated for almost 6 years to get the court's permission for DNA testing. Tony had been incarcerated for nearly 25 years in Pennsylvania and narrowly escaped the death penalty. Tony's case, sadly, is not unique. Empowered with the unequivocal proof of innocence provided by DNA technology, the Innocence Project has litigated hundreds of wrongful conviction cases, leading to the exoneration and freedom for more than 180 people through DNA testing. Overall, there have been 356 DNA exonerees in the United States who were wrongfully imprisoned for more than 4,875 years in total. You can help support the Innocence Project and help me secure my race entry in the New York City Marathon by going to run.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450 free. That's 855-450-3733. That is how you can call in and join us and bring up whatever is on your mind. The us in studio tonight is Daryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And for years, libertarians of all stripes have wanted a directory of liberty-minded businesses, and we're helping build one. It's liberty.menu. Liberty.menu is a tool for our community. At its core is a directory for events, businesses, digital content, and more. Listings can be rated and reviewed, kind of like a Yelp, but there's also a bit of a social networking aspect built in where you can connect and share with other users. Use of Liberty.menu is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. Put your voluntarist ideas into action at Liberty.menu and use code FTL to get a special Free Talk Live listener badge. That's Liberty.menu, code FTL. Let's go to the phones where we've got Gene, the Christian anarchist, calling in from Tennessee. And Gene, hopefully the phones work better than the Discord.
Well, yeah. I think I was kind of getting the idea that maybe you guys didn't want to talk to me because I couldn't hear you. And then when on my first call in, I got dumped and I had to call back.
So
we
thought
we could hear you, and we could just hear you ask if we could hear you, and yeah, we could hear you, but you couldn't hear us.
We
But
thought
I think
you were
you can hear
just
us now.
we thought you were ignoring us. So there you go.
So go ahead with your thoughts.
Well, I wanted to talk and piss off a bunch of women, and but I'm going to be supporting. But I'm going to be supporting a woman. I'm going to support a woman, and I'm going to anger a whole bunch of women out there.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Camille Cosby calls Bill Cosby's guilty charge mob justice in startling statement. I happen to say that I agree 100% with Camille Cosby. I think that her husband has been given the full benefit of the doubt for being charged with a crime. I think that if you look at what they convicted him on, is the fact that he admitted to using Quaaludes or giving Quaaludes to his guests. Quaaludes are used in the drug culture to get high. So in other words, it's equivalent to saying he was offering somebody marijuana. Now, I'm sure that 90% of your audience has delved into a little bit of illicit drugs from time to time, and maybe Quaaludes wasn't their thing. Personally, I liked LSD myself, but the point is, it's in the drug culture to take Quaaludes, and that's one of the reasons they're illegal now, considered Schedule 3. So the fact that he got Quaaludes for his dates or whatever they were doesn't necessarily mean that he was trying to drug them and take advantage of them. Sounds to me like some of these girls are gold diggers.
I mean, it doesn't mean he wasn't.
It doesn't mean he wasn't. You're right. But that's not the level of conviction.
Yeah, but there's a lot more evidence and testimony in that case than just him giving out your little drugs.
Right, but that's the question.
Beyond a reasonable doubt is?
I was going to say that's the question, and that was up to was this a jury trial? I didn't follow it at all.
I think it was a jury. I also didn't really follow it. I don't know what all the evidence was,
right.
But I do know that I think there was only one of the women that was actually able to, because of time limits and whatnot, only one woman was actually able to bring a criminal charge.
Right, but that is the
Cosby
standard.
is a
Gene's
woman.
absolutely correct. Go ahead.
Camille Cosby is a woman, and she knows this guy, Bill Cosby, pretty darn good. She's lived with him for who knows how long. She obviously knows that he cheats on her, and she has forgiven him for that for whatever reason. Maybe when they were younger, they were into three-ways and orgies and stuff. Who knows? Not my business.
Degenerate behavior.
It's not my business what they're doing. But the point is, they did not ever reach that goal of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. It looked to me like the judge tied their hands, wouldn't allow them to present some of their stuff that they wanted to present, and then went overboard and allowed the prosecution to submit anything they want. And that is the standard for convictions today.
That's
the legal
pretty much
standard
it, yeah.
Today is to balance, is to throw everything on the prosecution side and limit everything on the defense. That's how they get all these convictions. Now, I think a lot of these people, a lot of these girls,
Michael Jackson wasn't convicted.
like the girls that girl that the porn star with Trump, and
Stormy
you'll
Daniels.
know. Yeah. Okay. Now, Heather, you don't know me very well, but I'm the last person to stand up for Trump. I think he's a jerk, but I think that he paid this girl to shut her mouth, and she accepted. That's a contract. That's an offer. That's an acceptance. And then she come back and wanted. It looks to me like she wanted more money, so she started all this other crap to try and get some more money, and it kind of backfired on her. So now she's stuck.
She's arguing in court that because Trump never actually signed the agreement, it's not actually a binding contract.
Right.
So she's a whore and wants money. I don't disagree with that. I mean,
well, this whole Me Too stuff, the whole thing has completely been blown out of proportion.
see, I think it's terrible when some women blow it out of a proportion, but I do think there are cases where it's a real issue. You know,
But you can't even say that anymore. You can't say you can't take the position that, hey, some of these Me Too people are lying. You say that today, and they're going to hang you from a yardarm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit about.
Can't say that.
We talked a little bit about Blackstone's theory, or what was, I'm trying to remember exactly how he phrased it. But the idea that, better, 100 criminals be turned loose than have one innocent person be found guilty. In America, when we get these hot button issues, it completely flips so that everybody has to be guilty if they've been accused.
Here's where it's logically going. I don't know if it'll actually reach that point or not, but the logical progression to this is with the sex robots and the virtual sex and all this coming down the pike, guys are going to stop dating women. They're going to say, to heck with this. I don't need this kind of trouble. I'm going to do virtual sex. I'm going to do the robot sex, and I'm never going to date one of these crazy bitches or women because they're going to eventually come back and try and sue me because they had a glass of wine and then had sex with me. They're going to say they were too drunk after one glass of wine.
Maybe Christian values aren't so bad then, waiting until marriage, finding somebody to make a lifelong commitment with.
There's nothing wrong with Christian values. I agree with that point 100%. But not everybody lives by Christian values.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
You can't force
what
people
the Bible
to live by
says? It says,
Christian
let
values.
fools become fools so that they can become wise, which means that we're going to have to make mistakes in order to gain wisdom, which is what we're seeing. And, another one of my favorite quotes is a smart man learns from his mistakes and a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. So I think when all of this stuff is coming to light, we can learn from it and make our own decisions. And
it's a good idea to use a Goonerman Goon Squad to force your morals on somebody else then.
No, I'm not forcing, I have my own Me Too experience, believe it or not, in social circles. So
how do you expect to enforce those Christian morals if not with a Goonerman?
By practicing what I preach.
Gene.
Yeah, you want to convince people. You don't want to force people.
Gene, thank you for the call.
She's
Your
all about
calls
force.
and thoughts, welcome.
I trust my own judgment.
450 free. That's 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Fellow Patriots, my name is Todd Savage, founder of BlackRifleRealEstate.com. Like you, I was a prisoner of the alt-left sanctuary state until one day I chose to lead my family to freedom. Today, we live on a sustainable 20-acre homestead where we shoot, hunt, garden, and homeschool our children without the tyranny of the nanny state looking over us. If you're ready to flee the city to the freedom of Idaho or Montana, our Black Rifle Real Estate team is here to help. Go to BlackRifleRealEstate.com. That's BlackRifleRealEstate.com.
You have been lied to, generation after generation, time after time after time.
If you follow the money, then you understand why America's in the condition it's in.
You created the Federal Reserve in 1913 through lies. You create 9/11. Through 9/11, you're fighting a war on terror, and now all of a sudden you go into Iraq, which was another lie.
This book will open people's eyes. Pre-order now at KillingUncleSamBook.com. KillingUncleSamBook.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. That's how you can call in and join us and bring up whatever is on your mind. We'll get back to the story out of Seattle about Amazon putting a building project on hold. But first, I want to tell you about some great technology. Talking about Zencash. Yeah, when Bitcoin came out in 2009, it was great. Nobody had seen anything like it ever before. And blockchain technologies being adopted in all kinds of businesses all over the world. But, wouldn't it be great if instead of having every transaction available for public display, that you had some privacy? Well, Zencash is doing that. They have a private option for sending not just currency, but also messages using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash now has more secure nodes than Bitcoin has nodes, with over 11,000 secure nodes approaching 12,000, making it one of the most secure distributed networks of any cryptocurrency. And Zencash was made by Voluntarist, with the ideas of voluntary interaction embedded in their white paper at least half a dozen times. Zencash has better tech than their competition. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Yeah, and we've been discussing the story from TechCrunch about Amazon basically halting a Seattle expansion over a city tax proposal. That city tax proposal, it's broken down in such a way that basically employers that have over $20 million in gross receipts, as determined by who? The Seattle government,
right,
are then subject to this additional tax, which at the end of the day, if you max it out, you're going to pay $500 per employee per year.
Yeah, which, you're talking about businesses that might have, 5,000, 10,000 employees or more working in the city.
Yeah, and arguably, and they acknowledge that here, for Amazon, it really isn't gonna. It's not gonna cripple them, but
right. But it's still $20 million worth of tax that
exactly
they're currently not paying.
That's not gonna. Yeah, that they cannot use for expansion into other areas or buying new products or bringing new businesses on board who can sell through Amazon. It's hard not to see echoes of San Francisco's own housing and homeless crises in the rise of Seattle's tech industry. And while $500 a head would be a drop in the bucket for Amazon, the company clearly understands its leverage as the city's largest employer. The move comes as various cities around North America have tripped over themselves to house Amazon's second headquarters. Wherever the company ultimately lands seems likely to sweeten the deal with some manner of corporate tax handout, and there's no doubt about that. Amazon, meanwhile, is facing scrutiny from a number of angles, including notably the president, who has called out the company's shipping deals as part of a larger ongoing feud with Washington Post owner Jeff Bezos.
Now, mentioning that second headquarters, and Heather, you had asked the question of whatever happened with that proposal that the New Hampshire governor came up with in conjunction with, was it like the Massachusetts governor or somebody?
Yep.
Well, story from the New York Times says, not waiting for HQ2, Amazon announces projects in Boston and Vancouver. As Amazon dances through courtship rituals with the 20 cities hoping to host its second headquarters, the company is also charging ahead on a slate of other real estate projects. This week, the e-commerce giant announced significant expansion of its offices in Boston and Vancouver, British Columbia, planning for a total of 5,000 new jobs. Earlier in April, it said it would open its fourth fulfillment center in Nevada, bringing more than 1,000 jobs to North Las Vegas. In March, the company revealed plans to build its first such facility in Missouri. Greg Mellick, an analyst with MoffettNathanson, said they've been on a pretty blistering pace, getting a lot of space everywhere. Building research and development centers to support new technology while also enlarging its vast network of distribution centers has increased Amazon's capital expenditures so that they now roughly equal that of Walmart. In Boston, Amazon confirmed on Tuesday that it would move into 430,000 square feet in WS Development's Seaport project, bringing 2,000 jobs in machine learning, speech science, cloud computing, and robotics engineering. That will double its technology workforce in the metropolitan area of Boston. The emphasis on speech science is a sign that Amazon is betting that its Alexa digital assistant is in the vanguard of voice-based commerce, a form of shopping that Mr. Mellick said was poised to grow at a rapid clip the way mobile buying did several years ago.
Dang. I feel like we're literally on the brink of we already basically have them, but having legit robots in every household, like when you already think
of
of
households already have those.
No, I just
They're
said
called
that.
Alexa.
Yeah, and
Right.
also the vacuums, the little robotic vacuums and stuff. But I'm talking about an actual moving, walking, talking robot.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see this as just on the horizon.
Like
with-
Rosie the robot.
Yeah, you come home and there's some
I'm pretending you
robot
remember
maid,
that.
you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's kind of creepy in a way because you see all those sci-fi movies like iRobot or some of the other ones where
What was the movie where the guy fell in love with the AI thing that was his
God.
house?
Oh, yeah.
Her?
It wasn't, I think it was called Her.
Was it?
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah,
seen
yeah.
that one.
Yeah. Well, one thing that's interesting, though, is none of these movies, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Give us a call, 855-450-FREE if you can think of one, but where we get these robots in our homes, right?
Yeah.
And they're doing all these wonderful things for us. But the plot is this. It turns out they're recording everything we do and giving it to the government.
Yeah. Could be,
Has there been one of those yet?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I mean, they're
I
going to
think
be
there's
good
always
robots
there's
versus
good
bad
birds, bad
robots.
ones, but none of them specifically just record every single thing you do to build your dossier at Langley or at the NSA. But I think that's the reality of where all this is.
I mean, it's definitely creepy to think of robots being used in warfare and stuff, what kind, if you think of all the robots that are being designed right now for good, just to help with household things. And
Right.
it's then you think there's also projects going on in the world to, create robots that are weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, everything
So-
made by Boston Dynamics.
I was just going to say that up. The absolute creepiest videos of robots you can ever watch. Just I can picture
The weird
that thing.
headless dog-looking
I know.
thing.
Everything
the
just
way they
looks like it's
walk
ready
and
to
talk.
chase you down and kill you.
Yeah. Ooh.
But yeah, the reality is most robots used in warfare are just they're drones, And,
Or drones that fly that could
And the question is how much, and we've done stories on this before, how much intelligence do you grant to drones? If they're remotely piloted, then that's one thing, but do you start building AI into them? Do they start decision trees to decide whether or not to strike a particular target? And that's where it gets really, really fuzzy.
But then you can hijack them too, right? I was talking to somebody about this the other day, like, you know, the idea of self-driving cars seems so cool until someone hacks your car while you're driving it. I mean, if you can hack a phone,
you don't even
you can
need
hack
a self-driving car to hack. A lot of the cars now have all kinds of computer stuff in them that can be hacked.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah. But who was the... there was a journalist in California that died a few years back, and that was one of the allegations that possibly his car was hacked, and that's how he was killed.
Wasn't that the same, like a theory about the Fast and the Furious guy?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think he was just driving fast while he was furious.
So jumping back into the article here from the New York Times, they say Boston is one of the finalists for the heated competition to lure Amazon's new HQ2. That project promises up to 50,000 new jobs and more than $5 billion in investment, but has also raised concerns about rising property prices and intensifying urban congestion. It was not clear if Amazon's investments in Boston or in Vancouver were any clues of the location of HQ2. More on this, plus your calls and thoughts, and how much did one Maryland town raise property taxes on businesses to encourage businesses to move into town? Stay tuned. We'll tell you. This is Free Talk Live, 855-450 free. That's 855-450-3733.
Mother's Day sneaks up and we hit the panic button. We get suckered into online flower giants pitching $19.99 flowers that end up costing $60. Or we grab last-minute produce department flowers that smell oddly of green onions. That tells Mom you don't care enough to send flowers from the Bouqs. That's short for bouquets, and they're bouquing awesome. Bouqs flowers are as unique and special as your mom. They're freshly cut from Bouqs Farms, delivered straight to your mom, so they'll last weeks, not days. Bouqs even has farms located on the side of a volcano that produce flowers so gorgeous, Mom will post pics of them and brag about you. And because Bouqs cut out the middlemen, you'll get amazingly fresh-cut flowers at an amazing price. Show Mom how much you care. Send her artisan-designed flowers from the Bouqs. Order today and get an extra 15% off when you enter FTL. That's BOUQS.com, and remember to enter FTL to save an extra 15%. Bouqs.com.
Frustrated trying to get business capital? Want to take the slow process and rejection out of the equation? GCNLoans.com removes the slow, irritating approval process. Instead, get quick, simple funding. Powered by David Allen Capital, 80% of our pre-qualified clients are approved in days. Pre-qualify at GCNLoans.com and get your money this week. It's that easy. GCNLoans.com. That's GCNLoans.com.
Ted Anderson telling you about Jordan Rubin's Beyond Organic Green-Fed Raw Cheddar Artesian Cheese featuring whole milk created through ancient dairy breeding, unpasteurized, untreated whole milk on the same farm the cows graze, containing natural sources of omega-3s, CLA protein, calcium, probiotics, and enzymes. I have never tasted cheese this good, and you need to try it. Contact your Youngevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to GCNteam.com.
From the day an ancient cave dweller painted yet another elk hunt on a wall in 15,000 BC, to Gary Marshall's 1974 discovery of 13 weather-beaten North Dakotan coal miners that would go on to become the cast of Happy Days, The Onion looks back at This Week in History. On June 17, 1954, the effects of the previous month's historic Supreme Court ruling in Brown versus the Board of Education provided black students with the educational opportunity of experiencing racism firsthand in desegregated schools. Up until that point, African American pupils could only endure racial slurs and death threats in city streets or near their homes. And on June 24, 1784, 13-year-old Edward Warren took the first hot air balloon flight, becoming the first American to urinate on a crowd from 100 feet in the air. And that was what happened this week in history.
This is the Onion News Network.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We'll get back into the story here about Amazon's expansion. Well, they put the brakes on one expansion in Seattle while also expanding in Boston and Vancouver. We'll tell you about that. Plus, again, there's that city or town in Maryland that wound up raising some property taxes on businesses in some kind of effort to encourage businesses to move in. We'll tell you what that is all about. But before we do, I have a question for you. Do you have a closet full of plain, boring t-shirts? Do you wish that you had some shirts that weren't plain and boring, that maybe were clever and witty and funny? Or maybe things that referenced pop culture, but you're a broke libertarian and you only have $6 and you refuse to buy things from somebody that's not also a libertarian? Well, I've got good news for you. $6 Shirts has a gigantic selection of witty, clever t-shirts that will make you the most exciting person in your social group for as low as $6. And the shirts are sold by someone like you, a listener to Free Talk Live. $6 shirts. Again, a huge selection. They do take Bitcoin, which means they have some Bitcoin-related t-shirts. And if you use code FTL, you save an extra 10% off. That's $6shirts.com. $6shirts.com. Jumping back into the article here from the New York Times about Amazon's expansion into Boston and Vancouver, while not making any announcement on the location of their second headquarters, referred to as HQ2, there's a quote here from Dennis Frenchman, a professor of urban design and planning at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, who says everyone wants the cake, which is the headquarters, but if not, they'll take the icing. Boston officials have approved $5 million in property tax incentives over 15 years for Amazon to occupy seaport offices and have dangled another $5 million in tax breaks if the company agrees to more local expansion and job creation. On Monday in Vancouver, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau helped Amazon announce a new 416,000 square foot office to open in 2022 at The Post, a site redeveloped by QuadReal Property Group. That facility will add 3,000 tech jobs to Amazon's current headcount in that area. Vancouver was not on the short list for locations for HQ2, but it's only 3 hours from Seattle, where Amazon is based, and a short flight from the California tech centers where Amazon likes to recruit their employees.
Do you guys have Amazon?
Excuse me?
Do you have Amazon accounts?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Do you do the Amazon Prime?
Yeah. Have for years.
I made my first Amazon purchase like a couple weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Your first ever Amazon purchase?
Yeah, my first ever Amazon purchase. I think it was like a month ago. Yeah, it was like just over a month ago. I did the 30-day free trial, and I've just paid my first month. So
I remember when it was a bookstore.
And if you do have Amazon
That's all it was?
Prime,
Was a bookstore?
That
At
was it.
first, they just did books, but I was going to say, if you do have an Amazon Prime subscription, you can go to Twitch, which is twitch.lrn.fm, and then you subscribe to the LRN Twitch channel, and then LRN winds up getting, I think it's like $4 or $5 a month.
Yeah, something like that.
And it
You have
costs
to-
you nothing.
But you do have to go back and do it every month.
Right. You have to renew the subscription every month. But as long as you have that Amazon Prime thing and you're subscribed to the LRN channel, then LRN gets a couple dollars. And again, it doesn't cost you anything because part of the Prime thing is you get one Twitch subscription.
And I had forgot to do mine. I just went to Twitch TV /LRN FM, and I was able to subscribe for free because I'm a Prime member.
I'm a Prime member.
Thank you for your service.
And that just kicked a couple shekels over to LRN
I mean, your
to keep
subscription.
spreading.
We thank you for your subscription.
But the point is you help the show expand and get more people to hear the message of liberty, and that's what it's all about.
It's just crazy how much cheaper like you can find some stuff on Amazon.
Well, you're just
than, like,
about
in the stores.
sales now, right?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Well,
It
it's
is.
crazy.
So this Amazon HQ2, they're saying that it's supposed to bring 50,000 new jobs to whatever city is lucky enough to wind up getting it, and also $5 billion in investment. And I'm curious, and Chris, I had asked you to see if you could find this information. Of those 50,000 jobs, how many of those are only going to be temporary during the period of time in which they are building the new headquarters?
Okay, so I've read a couple different articles here, and it seems to be that they anticipate the actual employment of this HQ2 to hit 50,000 employees in about
permanent jobs.
Yes, in about 2 decades. So
Okay.
we're talking over 20 years. They expect it to hit that. So yeah, you are going to have the construction jobs that start out.
Right, and-
Seattle right now has the highest number of cranes set up because of all the expansion that's going on there.
Right, and I'll explain why I asked the question of how many of these new jobs are just going to be construction, because whenever there's one of these things to where some city somewhere builds a new football stadium or a baseball stadium or whatever, they throw out
or a
this
pipeline.
number of there's going to be X number of jobs.
Yeah. The one I remember.
Asterisk. 90% of those are just going to be temporary during the construction of this, and then the other 10% are going to be people working concession stands.
Right. Please don't quote me on this, but one of the things I remember from the XL pipeline, the Keystone pipeline, debate was, all these jobs that are going to be created because of all this construction, everything coming down. Somebody came up with a claim that the actual number of permanent jobs to operate it after it was all built would be something like 38 people.
That actually sounds kind of high to me.
Yeah. But that's it. I'm sorry.
Well, I think
Heather.
with an Amazon headquarters, just given how much Amazon's grown over the last so many years, like I don't see 50,000 jobs as being out of, reach.
Probably
for
not.
them, just
Right.
because it's like.
But generally, whenever there's any kind of business expansion, they include all of those temporary jobs in the total number so that they can inflate the number.
Right. They would say it's going to be 200,000 jobs, but
We're going to employ 7 billion people.
exactly. But here's the flip side. So all these towns and cities across the country who put in bids and in Canada, they're all just they've got the checkbook open. We will give you $5 billion in tax cuts. We'll do $5 billion, $10 billion in deferments and stuff like that. Well,
I heard one of the reasons that New Hampshire was ruled out though as a location was because of lack of people, because they didn't have a lack of unemployed people needing jobs.
Right.
And also, there's not a major airport in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Well, it says international on the sign.
No, it doesn't. It says regional.
Dang it. All right. But my point is when you talk about if government stays the same size and you increase the cost of government by $5 billion, then those new revenues need to come from somewhere. And where do they come from? They come from the existing tax base.
Right.
So, and that's sort of the flip side of all this. And depending on how big your city is, really is going to determine the impact. So if you throw 50,000 new jobs into an LA,
right.
It's not that big a deal, but you throw it into an Omaha
or New Hampshire,
right, or Manchester or something like that. Yeah, it's
if we
suddenly a
upgraded our
very big
airport,
deal.
we could have so much more opportunity with the low taxes here.
We could if it didn't take so many tax dollars to build that new airport.
Yeah. Well, why don't you invest, Chris?
And
Go
being
private sector.
But being so close to Boston, I don't know of any airline that would wind up saying, "Yeah, we want to expand all of our flights to Manchester."
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, if we could get more business, if we could have lower flights than Logan, then you compete against another airport.
Oh, we got Dean Kamen in the freaking Segway. What else do we need?
What?
The Segway, the scooter.
Oh, I'm thinking the other form of Segway.
Like we're transitioning to a different story, Daryl?
Yeah, and I was like, nobody brought a story about Dean Kamen.
Yellow card. I'm giving you a yellow card for that.
For being confused?
For being pedantic.
No, I'm being confused right now.
You were being unusually confused in an effort to be
honestly
pedantic.
have no clue what you're talking about right now.
The yellow card is final, Daryl.
I still have no clue what you're talking about right now.
We'll leave it at that.
Daryl just got yellow carded.
And I still have no clue, one, what you brought Dean Kamen up for, why we're segueing to Dean Kamen.
We're not segueing. I know what you're saying.
Your calls and thoughts welcome, and maybe you can unconfuse Daryl. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live, and what Maryland town raised property taxes? We'll tell you.
I tried other brands, but I came back to My Sunshine.
For the best hot or cold pain relief, get the best. Get a Sunny Bay heating pad.
Sometimes life can be a pain in the neck or back or shoulder.
And the best relief for that pain is a Sunny Bay heating pad. Did you know that the American College of Physicians said that one of the best ways to treat muscle pain is heat therapy? Sunny Bay heating pads are handmade with high quality, can be used at home or at work, and have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy.
Why take another pill?
Many people use our Sunny Bay heating pads alone and got rid of the neck pain.
Long distance travel or long hours in front of a computer can take its toll on your body.
See why our homegrown small business at sunny-bay.com has tried to help people just like you. Get your Sunny Bay heating pads at sunny-bay.com. That's sunny-bay.com or call 253-678-1361 for hot and cold therapy. sunny-bay.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, May 3rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.54 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,317 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $39, and the average price of Bitcoin is $9,233. Antiwar.com reports the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, has issued an assessment Tuesday addressing Israeli allegations of a secret Iranian nuclear program. The UN watchdog says there is no credible indication of any Iranian activities after 2009. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made a presentation on Monday intended to give President Trump a justification for killing the P5+1 nuclear deal with Iran. Netanyahu's evidence, however, centered on research conducted before 2003 and which was well known. Netanyahu tried to present the old research and then conclude that more secret activities are ongoing. The IAEA, however, has a level of access within Iran unrivaled by any other safeguards agreement in the world. That access means claims of a whole additional secret program aren't particularly credible and has led European countries to warn killing the P5+1 deal would threaten that access. Iranian officials have also denied Israeli allegations of an ongoing program, saying Netanyahu can't stop crying wolf. That seems to be the general consensus across most of the world, though President Trump is still expected to withdraw the U.S. from the nuclear deal and will likely use Netanyahu's allegations as political cover for the international backlash.
Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at zencash.com.
UPI reports 2 black men arrested at a Starbucks settled with the city of Philadelphia for $1 each and an undisclosed settlement with the company. The mayor's office on Wednesday said the city also agreed to a request by Rayshawn Nelson and Dante Robinson to set up a $200,000 program for young entrepreneurs in public high schools. In a separate settlement with Starbucks, they will receive a financial settlement as well as continued listening and dialogue between the parties, according to the company in a statement. The attorney for the men was not available for comment. City spokesman Mike Dunn said 2 weeks after the incident, the 2 men have released the city and its employees from any and all claims. Nelson and Robinson will not receive any money from the high school program, but will serve on a committee to establish and award the grants. Mayor Jim Kenney said in a statement, rather than spending time, money, and resources to engage in a potentially adversarial process, Rayshawn Nelson and Dante Robinson approached the city and invited us to partner with them in an attempt to make something positive come out of this. This agreement is the result of those conversations, and I look forward to seeing the fruits of their efforts in the coming months and years. The city said the money will come from its finance department budget. The city police commissioner apologized, and Starbucks CEO Kevin Johnson called the arrest reprehensible.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports Iowa's Republican-controlled legislature passed the most restrictive abortion ban in the United States on Wednesday, outlawing the procedure after a fetal heartbeat is detected, often at 6 weeks, and before a woman realizes she is even pregnant. The Senate voted 29-17 to pass the House of Representatives approved bill, according to the legislature's online voting tallies. The bill now goes to Republican Governor Kim Reynolds, an abortion opponent who had not said publicly whether or not she would sign the bill into law. Opponents of abortion aim to land the question back in front of the nation's top court, where they believe the 5-4 conservative majority could sharply curtail abortion access or ban it outright. Republican State Senator Rick Bertrand said, "We created an opportunity to take a run at Roe v. Wade 100%. Becca Lee, spokeswoman of Planned Parenthood of the Heartland, called the legislation an intentionally unconstitutional ban on 99% of safe legal abortions designed to challenge Roe v. Wade. The Iowa bill requires any woman seeking an abortion to undergo an abdominal ultrasound to screen for fetal heartbeat. If one is detected, healthcare providers are banned from performing the abortion." This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Shortly after beginning his first date with area woman Pauline Geary, smitten local man Brad Holtman told Onion reporters he couldn't believe that the woman was also a fan of the 1960s British rock band, the Beatles.
We were just talking about music, and she mentioned that she liked the Beatles, which is crazy because I love the Beatles, actually. Yeah, funny thing is, I was not really even looking forward to the date. I figured we get a drink or whatever, but it's turning out a lot cooler than I thought it was going to. I mean, she's just such a huge fan. She knows all the Beatles names. She even owns some of their albums. I've been a Beatles fan since like 6th or 7th grade, so I don't want to get too excited and jump into something. So I think I'm going to ask her if she's ever seen The Godfather, which is probably my top 5 movies of all time.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. Kicking off hour number 3, you can call in and join us by dialing toll-free 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. The us in studio tonight is Daryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And, well, what town in Maryland had the brilliant idea of raising property taxes on businesses to encourage businesses to come to town?
To me, it sounds like all towns in Maryland.
The article here from Washington Post, and this is actually a story about some businesses that are suing the town of Seat Pleasant, Maryland, for an approximately 8-fold property tax increase that they allege was unlawful and designed to shut down their businesses. You heard that right, 8-fold, so nearly 800% increase on the property tax. The owners of a discount market, a Chinese takeout restaurant, and a liquor store say officials violated the city's charter and state and federal laws when they created an ordinance that sent the property taxes of certain businesses soaring. Stephen Franco, who owns the discount market, said the special revitalization tax is part of an attempt by Seat Pleasant leaders to lower the value of property so the cities can buy the buildings for their own use. Franco said, you can't attract businesses like this. The city property tax last year jumped from $5,991 to $55,019.
Wow.
Dwarfing the $18,269 property tax he pays to Prince George's County. He says it's backwards economic thinking. Mayor Eugene Grant, a fierce and at times controversial politician who made headlines 2 years ago for governing from a pop-up tent after he was ousted from City Hall, declined comment through a spokeswoman citing the pending litigation. His 2018 budget says the special revitalization tax on 5 business owners will, quote, benefit the entire city by generating more than $250,000 in new revenue per year.
See?
We're helping businesses by increasing taxes by 800% on certain businesses.
Yeah.
See, it's almost like the George Bush statement of, I'm violating the free market to save the free market.
I had to check it out and see where Seat Pleasant is because that did not ring a bell, but it's inside the Beltway. So the D.C. Beltway encompasses D.C. and most of the close the close suburbs, and that's southeast. So there you go.
The article continues. Grant, in an October interview with NBC4 Washington, said all of these dollars are necessary for us to provide efficient and effective services for the residents of Seat Pleasant. But according to the city's charter, special assessments can be levied on properties only if the funds will specifically benefit those properties for purposes such as building curbs or paving sidewalks, and if the property owners are given advance notice and a right to appeal. Franco says they're violating their own law.
No.
Pretrial hearing was scheduled for April 2nd, so this article not exactly, completely up to date, but still, this is ridiculous that they would wind up raising taxes on 5 businesses by 800%.
You sound so surprised. This just doesn't surprise me.
No.
Call me
It
jaded.
surprises me that they only raised it on 5 businesses. If they raised property taxes on everybody, that would not surprise me because that happens all the time.
Right, but look at the story we just talked about in Seattle, talking about Amazon and how they're levying this tax, $500 per person on companies that or have annual sales in excess of $20 million. Right. So again, you're applying a harsh tax on a limited number of people, and are those companies in Seattle going to benefit from this? No, the people that are supposed to benefit from this insanity are the homeless and the people that can't find affordable housing. It's nuts.
In court filings, Seat Pleasant officials maintain they followed proper procedure in enacting the ordinance and did not violate the city's charter. City Attorney Jason DeLoach said that Seat Pleasant is drafting a proposed settlement agreement, but added, "We think we're on solid legal footing."
Hold on, you can't say "we think" and solid.
You can say whatever.
No. But solid legal footing, that's solid. It's not like if you use the term solid legal footing, that's a definitive phrase. But then when you throw in that "we think," you're really not on solid legal footing.
I'm going to defend City Attorney Jason DeLoach here for a moment.
Yellow card.
Because, again, he's an attorney.
He gets paid for that, yeah.
Attorneys wind up writing out things that they think are good legal arguments, and then it's up to a judge to determine which legal argument is better. And both sides are going to think that they have the right legal footing.
Yeah.
The Seat Pleasant Council introduced the tax ordinance on May 8th and adopted it a week later. And again, May 8th of last year, because May 8th of this year has not yet happened. At a public hearing, Franco says he and other property owners did not know about. None of the council's 7 members responded to interview requests. The buildings involved in the lawsuit are clustered near the intersection of Martin Luther King Jr. Highway and Eastern Avenue, which straddles the district line and an area that has long struggled with crime and poverty. Franco, whose crowded store sells a wide variety of things, including clothes, snacks, and computers, said prostitutes and drug users often stand in his parking lot. The store manager wears a gun on his hip and a badge showing he's a special police officer. Franco said, "I'm all for improvement. Based on its geography, this area could be a powerhouse." His family has been in the discount store business for decades and had a store in the Skyland area of southeast Washington that closed to make way for new development. He says, but that's not how you do it. And then they talk about a couple of the other businesses here, the ethnicity of the area. DeLoach called the allegations of discrimination ridiculous, adding, "We take offense to that. It's not what the city is doing." The Chen's property tax raised from $1,700 to $14,000 at one property and from $2,100 to $17,000 at the other.
It sounds like it is absolutely discriminatory towards people that are successful. So you have an impoverished area. It sounds like there's a few businesses that do very well.
Right.
And it sounds like government is going after the small business owners because they have some cash. That's it.
Right. Heard talking about the family that owns the properties here. Kathy Chen's father is 64 years old. He's worried that he's having trouble sleeping. She says, "We love this community, and that's why we've never left. Why do they pick on us? Why?" The lawsuit filed by Franco, the Chens, and another filed by MLK LLC, which owns a vacant building across the street, alleges the city violated state and federal laws by depriving the property owners of their rights to due process and equal protection under the law. The properties will be sold in a county auction in May if the business owners do not pay the property theft. Franco said he so far has declined to pay because he did not want the city to have the additional funds, but he's prepared to fork over the money if he needs to avoid his business being sold. Franco said, "The last thing I would do now is consider the city buying it. They would just sit down, or rather, they should just sit down and talk to me, and we could have worked this out."
No need. Government knows best.
No.
Again, Daryl, I was being facetious.
Yes.
Yes.
I figured you were, but maybe people listening might not have realized that your tongue was planted firmly in your cheek when you said that.
Yes. And anytime I say anything really complimentary about government, realize that is with tongue firmly in cheek.
Yeah, and since this article is from mid-March, I am curious if there's an update to it. So I'll take a look into that. Plus, your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Plus, there was something out of California. I forget what it was, but it's coming up. This is Free Talk Live. Mother's Day sneaks up and we hit the panic button. We get suckered into online flower giants pitching $19.99 flowers that end up costing $60. Or we grab last-minute produce department flowers that smell oddly like green onions. That tells Mom you don't care enough to send flowers from the Bouqs. That's short for bouquet, and they're bouquing awesome. Bouqs flowers are as unique and special as your mom. They're freshly cut from Bouqs farms and delivered straight to your mom, so they last weeks, not days. Bouqs even has farms located on the side of a volcano that produce flowers so gorgeous Mom will post pics of them and brag about you. And because Bouqs cuts out the middleman, you'll get amazingly fresh flowers at an amazing price. Show Mom how much you care. Send her artisan designed flowers from the Bouqs. Order today and get an extra 15% off when you enter code FTL. That's BOUQS.com. And remember to enter FTL to save an extra 15%. That's Bouqs.com, BOUQS.com. And remember, code FTL saves an extra 15%.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You know, Mother's Day is right around the corner. Don't let it sneak up on you, and then you've got to hit the panic button. A lot of times people get suckered into online flower giants pitching $19.99 flowers that end up costing $60, or you grab last-minute produce department flowers that smell oddly like green onions. That tells Mom you didn't care enough to send flowers from the Bouqs. That's short for bouquets, and they're bouquing awesome. Bouqs flowers are as unique and special as you are, and as special as your mom. They're freshly cut from Bouqs Farms and delivered straight to Mom, and they last weeks, not days. Bouqs even has farms located on the side of a volcano that produce flowers so gorgeous, Mom will post pics of them and brag about you. And because Bouqs cuts out the middlemen, you get amazingly fresh flowers at an amazing price. Show Mom how much you care. Send her artisan design flowers from the Bouqs. Order today and get an extra 15% off when you enter code FTL. That's BOUQS.com. And remember, code FTL saves an extra 15%. Bouqs.com. BOUQS.com.
Yeah, so changing gears a little bit here, there is a ruling out of the California Supreme Court that could force Uber, Lyft to convert drivers to employees.
Now, this seems to completely contradict a federal ruling that we covered a couple of weeks ago, where the federal judge said, or I think it was a panel of federal judges, that said that drivers for Uber and Lyft are contractors, that they do not qualify as employees.
Yeah, and that's why we call the things that come out of courts opinions.
Yes.
So one side has one opinion, another side has another, but in this case...
And all of the lawyers feel that they're on solid legal ground.
That they do. Solid legal ground. The California Supreme Court has ruled that it will now be harder for employees to formally classify their workers as independent contractors rather than employees. This does not surprise me as somebody who has done work in California. The court's Monday opinion in Dynamex versus Superior Court of Los Angeles County could have a profound impact on many tech companies like Uber, Lyft, Instacart, and others that provide on-demand services. Dynamex is a courier and delivery company based in Kent, Washington. The overwhelming majority of gig economy companies' workers are not employees, and so they do not get any health, retirement, unemployment, or other benefits that typically come with full-time employment.
Right, and let me explain why they are not legally classified as employees. Because they set their own hours. They are not told this is when you show up. They are not told this is how many hours you work today. They set their own hours. They set their own schedules. They, by definition, are contractors.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
You have choices. When you go to work for someone, you can choose to work for them, or you can choose not to work for them. It should be a voluntary exchange of services,
right, and
for compensation.
Let me give another couple of examples of jobs that are contractors, not employees. Paper delivery people. They're contractors.
Right.
Even though they might have a specified time of day that, hey, you've got to have all the papers delivered by X time, they are hired out as contractors. They do not actually work for the newspaper company.
Correct. And there are a lot of jobs like that, and there is this new gig economy where people are willing to, work with these types of companies to get services that aren't available through companies that just have employees. So I always think of the example of like taxis versus Uber or Lyft.
Well,
even though taxi drivers may be just contractors too, but they're backed
we've had
up with unions.
We've had a lot of people call in to say that taxi drivers are contractors, that they are renting the car.
So then do Uber drivers and stuff, do they get 1099s and have to pay in that way?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Although, and the court found, quote, although in some circumstances classification as an independent contractor may be advantageous to workers as well as to businesses, The risk that workers who should be treated as employees may be improperly misclassified as independent contractors is significant in light of the potentially substantial economic incentives that a business may have in mischaracterizing some workers as independent contractors. Such incentives include the unfair competitive advantage that the business may obtain over competitors that properly classify similar workers as employees and that thereby assume the fiscal and other responsibilities and burdens that an employee owes to its employees, unquote. And this is, I got to say it, it's typical California. So when I worked for a large company, there was always debates about whether a person was even if they were salaried, should they be paid for overtime because of California law, and what types of jobs qualified as an exempt position versus a non-exempt position, and all this crazy stuff.
Right, and there was actually some kind of federal ruling, I think it was towards the end of the Obama administration, that luckily the Department of Labor said, yeah, you can't actually wind up implementing that would have, I think, raised the minimum that salaried employees had to be paid in order to not be paid overtime.
Yeah, so they do that, and it all really had to come down to responsibilities and things like that of what they actually did on the job, and it was a nightmare with huge financial implications.
But this policy that got shot down just said any management person,
if you made under $75,000 or $100,000 a year.
And because I'm on the board of directors of the local community access television station, we were scrambling of, are we going to have to basically double the salary of the executive director,
right,
or pay him overtime because he's working 10 hours? He admitted, I worked 50 hours a week.
Right.
So then we were calculating, and it was going to be more expensive to pay him hourly overtime than it would have been to almost double his salary. But again, luckily, the Department of Labor said, yeah, you can't actually implement this because it, is like an illegal minimum wage something.
Right. Well, that's good. Numerous employment law experts that Ars, and this is Ars Technica, where this story comes from, that Ars spoke with said that the new opinion could end up being a moment of reckoning for Silicon Valley. Among those who we spoke with is Shannon Lisa Riordan, a Boston-based labor lawyer who has brought numerous cases against Uber, Grubhub, and others. Quote, the test will provide much stronger worker protections and make it extremely difficult for companies to classify their workforce as independent contractors, as many employees have been trying to do, and unfortunately many courts have allowed them to get away with it. Liz Riordan said in an email to Ars, quote, under this test, if the work is performed within the usual course of a company's business, the worker is an employee. And that is just insanity. And again, if you want to run one of these insane cases, you go to California to get it before the courts.
And I want to pick apart what she said. If the work is performed within the usual course of the company's business, that person's an employee.
Yep, there you go.
Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
You have been lied to. Generation after generation, time after time after time.
If you follow the money, then you understand why America's in the condition it's in.
You created the Federal Reserve in 1913 through lies. You create 9/11. Through 9/11, you're fighting a war on terror, and now all of a sudden you go into Iraq, which was another lie.
This book will open people's eyes. Pre-order now at KillingUncleSamBook.com. KillingUncleSamBook.com.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. That's how you can call in and talk with us and bring up whatever is on your mind. But maybe you're one of those people that you don't like talking to people with your voice, but you don't mind using a keyboard. Well, luckily we have a forum. Actually, there are multiple forums within the forum. Go to forum.freetalklive.com and join other Free Talk Live listeners. There are some hosts, and there's much more there at forum.freetalklive.com. So we've been talking about this ruling out of the California Supreme Court that completely goes against what the federal courts ruled just a couple of weeks ago, where the federal courts ruled that people driving cars for Uber and Lyft were rightly considered contractors. The California Supreme Court, however, decided, no, you're an employee. And to quote one of the lawyers for the people bringing the lawsuit against Uber and Lyft, lawyer Shannon Liz Riordan, she said, quote, under this test, if the work is performed within the usual course of the company's business, the worker is an employee.
So almost by default, every possible independent contractor that ever took a job would now be an employee.
Right.
I mean,
so
because why are they going to hire somebody who's going to do independent contract work that has nothing to do with your business.
The guy that fills up the cola machines.
Right.
The guy that delivers cola to businesses. So the guy that
sells
takes like the
cola?
the
Sure.
pallets of cola to Walmart or Aldi or Target or wherever. Is he an employee of Target and the Coke distribution? Because bringing in the pallets of Coke is part of the business of Target, to where they have to have product to sell the product.
Right. So the real question, and this is the battle.
Every truck driver would be classified an employee for everybody that they drive product for.
I'm going to posit that the state hates independent contractors because
except for when they don't.
It hates independent contractors because it's much more difficult to get taxes out of them. And if you're just getting 1099s and the state doesn't get all the filings there, then the state is upset. If you're a 1040 employee, they're going to take the money before you get a chance. So basically, this is almost a question philosophically of voluntary taxation versus involuntary taxation.
Right, but
does that make sense?
It does, but let me argue the point that I made of they hate the contractors except for when they don't.
Sure.
So, for instance, building contractors. You don't want to necessarily say that, the guy that's doing the sidewalk, you, Chris, have to create a business and hire him as your employee because he's doing your sidewalk. But in most places, that guy's got to go get a permit. And so the state is getting all kinds of money from those independent contractors.
Well, one could argue that now, even if the contractors hire independent contractors to do the work, they can no longer do that based on this insane opinion that comes out of the California Supreme Court.
And this is why California's splitting up.
This
Possibly.
is why nobody's
California. I mean, some of the stuff that comes out of that state is just crazy.
Well, and it's insanely expensive. I mean, and Californians sometimes just don't see this stuff. And I'm going to stereotype here. I'm sorry, but it is a very It's a community that feels that they want to demonstrate how much they care for everyone and care for the little guy. And that's what this is all about. It's unfair that an Uber driver doesn't get benefits and he doesn't get health care and he doesn't get all this stuff. Well, from the Uber guy's point of view, number one, maybe he doesn't need all that stuff, or maybe he's not willing to accept the cut in pay that comes with all those benefits. When we talk about compensation, we have to look at the entire package of compensation. So if your salary is $50,000 a year, then likely 33% of that, in addition to that, is going to go towards benefits. That's typical for employees. It's about a third, say 20 to 40%. In the case of an independent contractor, he can ask for 30% higher than his base salary, take it all in cash, decide how he wants to spend it, and the company's getting a deal because, hey, maybe they're getting the same thing for 3% less or 7%, 6%, something like that. Go ahead, Heather.
No, I'm just frustrated. It's the one thing I think that when it comes to regulation of jobs, the government does a terrible job.
They do.
It's crazy to even think about, that it's working so well right now, Uber. Why screw with it? You know what I mean? It's like the Airbnb thing where they tried to come in on that. And it's just these are jobs that were created and now you're trying to take them away.
Some of the government regulations to try to prohibit Airbnb style things have been written in such a way as to where technically it makes it illegal to rent your house or apartment to someone for the month of February.
You mean so we couldn't squat at the congressman's office?
No, so some of the regulations.
Wait, who's the chair there that the speaker there that you said?
Paul Ryan.
Paul Ryan. So yeah, we couldn't Airbnb Paul Ryan's office.
Right, but no, so some of the regulations have said that rentals of less than 30 days are prohibited. Which means if you do a month-to-month lease, you are prohibited by law in some places from renting for the month of February because February has less than 30 days. Let's go to the phones where we've got Patrick calling in from Bullhead City, Arizona. Patrick, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned about this, the overtime and the way the ruling's stated right now with how they're doing law enforcement. They're mandating the overtime, and then to get around on it, if say you work 16, which after 16 you got to do double. Maximum you could do is 16 hours in a day. What they're doing at the end of the week, they come in and they say, "Oh, we're flexing you out, so you lose all your overtime." You lose all your overtime for a 40-hour week because anything after 40 hours you get paid overtime.
Right. So there are some places that will do anything over 8 hours in a day as overtime. Other places it's anything over 40 hours in a week. So you're saying if you work a double shift today and a double shift tomorrow, you work 8 more hours and then they say take the rest of the week off?
Or they'll do is they'll work it out to where they'll overlap it, because a lot of times they just changed a lot of the times where the week ends.
Right.
So what you do, they went from where it would end on Sunday, they went to Saturday. But the way the schedule would work, say if you were going to get any overtime, the way it would do it, they would overlap you on Saturday or Sunday, the previous day, so that they would mess you out of your overtime for that pay period.
Right.
And it's really gotten bad, guys. It really has. In the private institutions, like the private, prisons and stuff, it's even worse. It's gotten to a point where law enforcement guys, and if you refuse overtime, you're subject to possible suspension and termination.
Yeah, it's not surprising, and
I'm surprised the union wouldn't stick up for you on refusing overtime, or that the union hasn't somehow said anything over 8 hours in a day is automatic. Patrick, thank you for the call. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. What are your thoughts on Uber and Lyft drivers? Should they be employees? Should they be contractors? Should the government even be involved in the decision? This is Free Talk Live.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
I tried other brands, but I came back to My Sunshine.
For the best hot or cold pain relief, get the best. Get a Sunny Bay heating pad.
Sometimes life can be a pain in the neck or back or shoulder.
And the best relief for that pain is a Sunny Bay heating pad. Did you know that the American College of Physicians said that one of the best ways to treat muscle pain is heat therapy? Sunny Bay heating pads are handmade with high quality, can be used at home or at work, and have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy.
Why take another pill?
Many people use our Sunny Bay heating pads alone and got rid of the neck pain.
Long distance travel or long hours in front of a computer can take its toll on your body.
See why our homegrown small business at sunny-bay.com has tried to help people just like you. Get your Sunny Bay heating pads at sunny-bay.com. That's sunny-bay.com, or call 253-678-1361 for hot and cold therapy. sunny-bay.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people like passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. That's the call-in number where if you call in right now, we might be able to get to you. Again, 855-450-FREE. And coming up this November, I'm going to be running the world's biggest, most popular marathon, the New York City Marathon.
Go, Daryl!
I'm going to be doing so as a member of Team Innocence Project.
Nice.
The Innocence Project was the first legal organization to systematically apply DNA testing to cases of wrongful convictions as a powerful tool to reveal innocence. Tony Wright is a perfect example of the power of DNA in our relentless pursuit of justice. The Innocence Project litigated for almost 6 years just to get permission from the court to even do the DNA testing. And Tony had been incarcerated for nearly 25 years in Pennsylvania and narrowly escaped the death penalty. Sadly, Tony's case is not unique. Empowered with the unequivocal proof of innocence provided by DNA technology, the Innocence Project has litigated hundreds of wrongful conviction cases, leading to the exoneration and freedom of more than 180 people through DNA testing. Overall, there have been 356 DNA exonerees in the United States who were wrongfully imprisoned for more than 4,875 years combined. With your help, the Innocence Project can help even more people who have been wrongly convicted. You can support the Innocence Project and help me secure my race entry by going to run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com. Let's go to the phones where we've got Sarah calling in from New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes, New Mexico, we're number one now in pedestrian fatalities per population. It's like 3 people for every 10,000 people.
And do you know what number New Hampshire is where this show is coming from?
No, I don't know what your ranking is. Probably like really low. You know, there's not.
We are 50th. We are the safest place for pedestrian deaths by automobile.
And the thing that they call a city, that is basically a large town where we're broadcasting from, is ranked as the most walkable city in New England.
Wow. So when are you moving out here? That's what I want to know.
Well, you know what? I believe that, you know, I'm here because of my cost of living. I only get, you know, $7.35 on my SSI. So the food's cheap, the rent is cheap, but I have to, you know, deal with cars that kill me every day. I
Right.
guess that's
So the question is
that's
how
the
much is
trade-off.
your life worth?
Oh, you know what? And then I get the mild summers. Mild winters. So, you know, that's basically a trade-off. But I'm really here. You know why? Because we're going to have a polarity switch, and I'm going to be above water. All the other places are going to really sink.
So you're talking. She's talking about the potential for a shift in the poles of magnetic north and magnetic south, which is
Wow, you're going deep there, Sarah.
occurs
Hold on, and-
every few hundred,
She's going intellectually
somewhere up to
deep
every 800,000 years. There's a lot of conjecture right now that this is on the brink of happening.
Hold on. Does the flip of polarity somehow cause pedestrians to be hit by cars because cars are made of metal and metal gets attracted to magnets?
No. What she brings up a fascinating thing, which has to do with sea levels. So, do you believe that we will be underwater and you will remain dry there?
Well, that's what I'm speculating. It's every 11,000 years, and the continent of Atlantis will resurface. But
Where are you getting
Atlantis.
this information?
Yeah, because you and Daryl are from there, right? Because you both have dreams about flying.
We know Daryl's
Remember
an
that?
Atlantean.
Remember that?
But
I do.
I think all of us, most of all Americans had lifetimes in Atlantis. So there was Mu, the island of Mu, Lemuria.
Where are
and
you getting
Atlantis.
this information?
I don't care. I find it fascinating. Don't you, Heather?
Yeah, I know. I wonder if you guys were neighbors when you lived in Atlantis.
Yeah.
You guys probably lived somewhere close.
Well, all of us, that's why we have high technology like self-driving cars and cell phones. These are all kind of like Atlanteans, what Atlanteans would do.
So they had these things. So I could just,
Well, they had objects that flies above the water, above the land.
So like the
they have,
Jetsons, remember that old cartoon?
right? Or were they like hovercrafts?
Right.
Have you ever heard the theory that the Flintstones was actually set in the future, not in the actual Stone Age?
I believe
Because like everything was a play on things that existed
Had
today.
already happened, right?
Yeah.
Right? Maybe. I don't know. I think you may be onto a few things.
I think she might be on something. Sarah, thank you for the call.
Man, right when we were getting into the meat of it.
You know,
I mean,
man.
that's really.
We're going
No, I
into
think she's a
Atlantis.
vegetarian, so there was no meat involved.
Thank you, Rimshot. So are we going to go back to my article for a little bit?
Yeah,
Or do you
let's
wanna
jump
talk
back
about
into that.
Sure.
Because I'm trying to find pedestrian fatality info, and it seems like everything's a couple years behind.
I know I posted one because it did show that New Hampshire is the safest place. But we've been talking about this story, which talks about a ruling that came out of the California Supreme Court, an opinion that basically says that almost anybody who has previously been a independent contractor can be considered an employee, which has huge economic impacts on lots of businesses, particularly those in the gig economy. So think of Uber and think of Lyft and things like that.
So you know what? Let's actually jump back into, because I found preliminary data from like February of this year.
Are you back on the Sarah call?
The pedestrian.
He is. He totally
thing.
was like, go into your article. Not.
No way.
So I stumbled across, they have counties with the largest numbers of pedestrian fatalities. Number 1 is Los Angeles County. Number 2, Maricopa County of Arizona. Harris County and Dallas County in Texas. Miami-Dade in Florida. Cook County, Illinois, which is where Chicago is. San Diego County, California. Bexar County, Texas, which is San Antonio. Broward, Florida, and Orange, California. None of those are the county that Albuquerque is in, and none of those are in New Mexico at all. So even though New Mexico has that 3.4 pedestrian fatalities per 10,000. Albuquerque is not the place where everybody winds up getting run over.
Right.
I just like pointing out facts whenever Sarah calls in with her alternatives.
I understand, Daryl.
I heard like the most dangerous place for a pedestrian is a parking lot.
I believe that.
Supermarkets or whatever.
Yeah, or like a Walmart parking lot
Yeah.
or things like that. Those are the places that I am the most careful driving.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's just a billion directions people could come out and hit you. But back into our story.
Yes.
So we heard about this from one attorney who was very much for it. So we're going to follow this up by talking to another attorney who is also very much for it. Byron Goldstein, an Oakland-based attorney who also has brought cases against startups over labor issues, agreed.
I feel like I already don't like him just because of his name. Byron Goldstein.
Yeah, there are many tech companies cheating the law, their workers and their competitors because they misclassify their workers. Unquote. He emailed Ars, and that's Ars Technica, where the story comes from. Quote, because this decision provides clarity regarding whether a worker isn't an employee, those companies should understand they do not get a free pass merely because they write software, unquote.
Well, I don't think that's why they're saying that they get a quote-unquote free pass. They're not saying, hey, we wrote a program. Give us a free pass.
And as far as providing clarity, no, you didn't provide clarity. By government decree, you were making a huge broad brush stroke across one of the more interesting aspects of our marketplace. And that, to me, is the gig economy.
See, Chris, it's clear that if you give money to somebody for a good or service, they're your employee. So
right. I just have to hire them.
When you go to Ruby Tuesdays or whatever restaurant and you give money to the server, they're your employee. You have to go file an LLC.
Oh, mine. Great.
Well, you're the one paying them.
Right. For the purpose of food.
Right, but you're also tipping them, so you're leaving that 18% on top of your bill.
25. I'm a good tipper, Daryl.
They are your employee. Very briefly.
Crazy.
But you can't fire them at the end of the night because we have laws against you firing employees.
Of course.
This has been Free Talk Live. We're out of time for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow because we're here every night of the week and always online at freetalklive.com.
The easiest thing in the world for a reader to do is to stop reading, according to the late, great Barney Kilgore, who became managing editor of the Wall Street Journal in 1941 and grew the paper's circulation from 33,000 to 1 million by the 60s. And he'd be pleased to know that his paper is one of the few that people now pay to read online. Someone else pre-internet who realized that attention